ॐ स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः।
Dear friends, welcome back to the study of the Bhagavad Gita, and we have in great detail revised the second chapter. Now, dears, we have to start on the third. We know that the Bhagavad Gita has 18 chapters, and we think the chapters are independent of each other. That is how we think. But there is an underlying current of thought flowing which gives us an understanding of the complete sense of the study of the Gita. So, dears, it is but natural, proper, required and meet to keep that link between the chapters up in our mind when we move from one to the other. So quickly, let me refresh your memory, and more you are used and acquainted and open to these ideas, more you will feel at home with the study and the so-called abstract ideas of the Bhagavad Gita. We know that Arjuna, with all his energy and inspiration to fight the battle of Kurukshetra, to defeat the Kauravas, who were nothing else but representatives of evil intentions, and he being a Kshatriya, whose duty is to fight for righteousness, fair play, equity, justice. And he is a Kshatriya, a thoroughbred Kshatriya, and he has been brought up and educated that way. So he was absolutely restless, impatient to teach the Kauravas a lesson. We know about that. And in the beginning of the Gita, in the first chapter, Arjuna says with great confidence, he thinks he was very confident, Kair maya sahajodyavyam asmin rana samudyame. Take my chariot in between the two fighting armies, O dear Lord Krishna, so that I can have a look at those people who have the temerity enough, the cheek enough, the spleen enough to raise arms against me. Do they not know who am I? Kair maya sahajodyavyam asmin rana samudyame. This is the words he used, and the words generally express the inner feeling of the man who is using this word. When we look at those words, Kair maya sahajodyavyam, there is a touch of arrogance. And arrogance and self-confidence has a very thin dividing margin line. On this side is self-confidence. You just tilt over, it becomes arrogance. In his language, who are those cheeky people with temerity and spleen, insolence, that they have the courage to raise against me? Take my chariot in between the two armies. Let me have a look at them. Arjuna did not understand that he has transgressed the limit of self-confidence and entered into the area of arrogance where he assumes he is the Lord God of the universe. That is what arrogance is all about. You are so egoistic that you forget there's a supreme being at whose command the whole cosmos moves. You try to put yourself in that place. This statement of Arjuna proves that Arjuna has moved out from the area of self-confidence. Yes, I can manage the situation. He is casting aspersions on the wisdom, temerity, and etc., of his opponents. Sri Krishna, a masterly teacher par excellence, he could have scolded him, put him in his proper place, and told him, "You don't run the show, I run the show." He could have told him that. If he would have told him so, we would have been denied the wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita, 700 and odd excellent verses, shlokas. We would have been at loss. So what Sri Krishna does, very humbly, politely, modestly, as ordered by the charioteer, he takes the chariot in between the two armies and says, "Pashaitan." You wanted to see, have a look. And when he said, "have a look," he used certain words. What are those words? Here is your loving grandfather Bhishma. Here is your loving teacher of weaponry, warfare, Dronacharya. Here is your loving teacher of statecraft and etc., Kripacharya. Here are your blood relatives, and here are your relations, not by blood, but you know them as your friends. Have a look at them. The ball was cast. Arjuna knew they are the people whom he has to kill to win the war. But winning and fighting was so paramount to his mind, in his mind, that he absolutely forgot whom he has to kill, whom he has to slay to get back the throne of India. Sri Krishna said, "Pashaitan," have a look at them, and told them by name. Here is your grandfather Bhishma, here is your teacher Drona, another teacher Kripacharya, here are your seniors of your family, your blood relations, collaterals, here are your nieces and nephews. That's what you are, and here are your friends. Now you make up it. And as soon as he said so, Arjuna broke down. He then became aware what price he has to pay to win the battle, win the war. He has to kill them. Kill whom? With whom he has a relationship of blood and he has an emotional relationship. Blood relationship and emotional relationship is what makes us living in this world. And he absolutely broke down. To cut it short, he says, "Na jyotsvamiti govindam iti ityukta Babu Baba. Tushnim Babu Baba. I am not going to fight. I would rather be a mendicant monk or leave the battlefield, let them enjoy the throne, let me go to hills and forests and become a sannyasi. As if sannyasa concept is based on defeatism and escapism. It is neither defeatism nor escapism. Arjuna thought it to be so. That is how the first chapter ends. Graphically, the whole thing has been set up. The starting point. What is the starting point? Starting point is, I am emotionally attached to things of the world, which at point of crisis may stop me from performing my duties to God. This is the lesson that is coming out of it. Living in this world, we live with such an amount of involvement and attachment that when we have to perform our duties of life for the sake of worshipping God, we fail to do so, and our attachment becomes stronger than the call of duty. And that is precisely what happened to Arjuna. Sri Krishna, as I keep on telling you, it's not worth repeating, but for my weakness, let me say so. He is God incarnate. Who could be a better teacher than Sri Krishna himself? So see how he teaches him. He speaks to him in a language which he understands. He says, Arjuna, at the spur of the moment, when the battle has been declared, war has been declared, conch shells has been blown, bugles has been blown, and they are ready to start the war. At this time, you come to your wisdom and say, it is not worth it. I'll go a mendicant monk. Good enough. You walk out on the warfare now. What will people think of you? Have you ever given a thought to the total loss of reputation which you have worked hard to create up to throughout your life? All that will go down the drain. People will say, Arjuna is a paper tiger. He howls and growls, but when it comes to actuality, he runs away with his tail behind his hind legs. He runs away. Are you prepared to face this ignominy, Arjuna? Bhayat ranat uparamate. You are out of fear of killing your near and dear ones, going through that emotional turmoil. You want to avoid that emotional turmoil, and you are not prepared to perform the duties of a Kshatriya for which the society has bred you up. You are leaving that concept of duty because you are not prepared to pay the price to fulfill your duty. You are running away. Are Arjuna, don't you know? Shambhavitasya cha kirti maranat atirichyate. Shambhavita purushasya kirti. A person of great repute. And undoubtedly Arjuna was a reputed warrior. He had to put gods to shame. He was known all over the world and in the godly world that there is nobody as mighty as Arjuna is. That is the reputation that you have earned. And that reputation will go to mud if you run away now. Have you thought of the consequences? Can you live with this loss of reputation? He speaks to him in a worldly manner, loss of reputation. Because if you run away now, people will not subscribe to your high-sounding, self-deceptive words. People will say you are a coward. When it came to the crunch, you ran away with tail between your hind legs. That is what people would say. Are you prepared to live with it? Who wants to? So Arjuna was a bit shaken. Slowly and slowly, Sri Krishna talks to him in such a manner that so-called conviction of his, it is better to be a mendicant monk than to be a party to this warfare. That conviction was becoming hazy and a bit shaky. And ultimately, he was in quandary. He did not know what is good for him, what is bad for him. He doesn't want to live with that ignominy that Arjuna is a coward. At the same time, he is not strong enough to pay for the price of following his duty by killing his near and dear ones. So imagine in what emotional turmoil he was, not knowing what to do, what not to do. But as he was born honest, as he was sincere, he comes forward, knowing full well Krishna is his friend, his philosopher, his guide. Nobody is better than Krishna to him in his life at this time of his life, at this time of crisis. He says, Krishna, listen to me. I will explain to you what I am going through. And the famous shloka, he says, Karpanna dosha upahata svabhava prichhami tam dharma sammuda cheta jashreyashyat nishchitam bruhitan me shishyasteham sadhi mang tam prapannam. This is one of the famous quotes of the Gita. What does he say? Look, Krishna, I'm a man of faculties. I know what to do, what not to do. I know how to do, how not to do. I have all those faculties in me. But now I'm in such a stage, just like a miser who sits on a ton of wealth and doesn't know how to utilize it. I am like a miser. I have all these faculties in me, but I do not now know how to make use of them. Karpanna dosha upahata svabhava. My nature is now under clouds because I am unable to make use of my own faculties. Kripanata dosha. That is, I am like a miser. I sit on a hill of wealth and I do not know how to utilize it for myself, nor for others. But the wealth is there. Therefore, dear Lord, prichhami tam. I am now in a crossroad. Dharma sammuda cheta. What is good for me? What is bad for me? What is dharma for me? What is adharma for me? If dharma is to be performed, I do not know how do I go about it. I am totally confused. Sammura chitta. I am totally confused. Therefore, please come and rescue me. Sadhi mam tam prapannam. I sit at your feet, O dear Lord. I am modest, I am humble, I am receptive. Please kindly come to help me and to rehabilitate me in my lost glory. That is, dear, how the Gita starts. Sri Krishna, as I keep on telling you, Lord incarnate, God incarnate, who could be a better teacher? And we know in our tertiary education, we have carers when we are in child care, we have teachers in our primary schools, we have teachers in our middle school, we have teachers in high school, then we have professors in colleges. Then research supervisors and guides in universities. And then finally, we become research scholars and guides. That is how we grow. In spiritual life also, Sri Krishna is enunciating how a common man facing such difficulty in this world. What is the difficulty? This is symbolic, worst case scenario. But in our day-to-day life, what do I do? What do I do? Should I? Should I not? If I should, how should I? We are always beset with such questions, always victim of such hesitancies. So Sri Krishna starts from there. He says, Arjuna, you do not know. You have a long, long, long way to go. First, learn how to live in this world with all these problems. That is, you are now, as of today, you are beset with a problem, your emotional requirement and call of your duty, and you are confounded. Let me first take this aspect of your problem. Why are you confounded? Because you are attached to things which are transitory, whereas dharma is eternal, permanent. And what is dharma? There are 1,000 different definitions of dharma. But for the students of Gita, as of now, the most relevant definition is dharayate iti dharma. What does it mean? It means it is something. Say, for instance, a basket full of ideas. Dharma is a basket full of ideas, holding on to which a human being is a biological creature, holding on to which he doesn't degrade himself into a biological creature, does not behave like an animal. He lives with certain human divine values and qualities because he is proud. He is the most evolved of biological creatures. Dharma is a basket full of ideas, holding on to which, dharayate, holding on to which you protect yourself from behaving like a beast, an animal, an ordinary biological creature. A. B. What else? Holding on to which you are capable of manifesting the potential divinity which is already within you. That is the range of dharma. And you tell me you do not know what to do, what not to do, what is dharma for you, what is adharma for you. I am telling you what is dharma for you, holding on to which you will manifest the divinity which is already within you. Now what are you doing, Arjuna? You are so involved emotionally and otherwise with the blood relationship and emotional relationship with so-called humans that you are giving this more importance and forgetting performing your dharma. Don't be such a stupid ass. This is transitory. And what is human relationship? Today we are best of friends as long as we tickle each other's ego. The day I keep on arguing against you, within 3 days my friendship is gone. I'm your worst enemy. This is what human relationship is. And you are paying more attention to the eternal relationship between you and your true original nature. Think of it, Arjuna, where have you moved out? So, he teaches Arjuna how to live in this world, how to continue to perform your duties, at the same time, how not to get involved in these so-called transitory relationships, which are nothing else but cause of agony and sadness. This is how he starts the second chapter. Sukhe dukkhe swame kritva labha labho jaya jayo tato yogam. Then he says, Sukhe dukkhe swame kritva labha labho jaya jayo tasmad yogaya junjasya yoga karmachu kaushalam. All these ideas have been said. That is, he says now, Arjuna, first develop that strength of character, that sukha and dukkha will have no effect on me. I will bear them without losing my poise. If you can do so, you are settling yourself down. Your serenity, your equanimity, your sobriety, your poise, everything is settling down. You are no more restless. The pool in your backyard is absolutely glass like sable, and you see what is within it. The mosaic design of the bottom of the pool comes to the surface. If you can make yourself so stable, you will see what is your true original nature. That is how we have discussed it in great detail. Sri Krishna introduces Arjuna to that type of performing your duty where you are not a victim of your expectations. Whatever we do in this world, even today as of now, I make an example to you. I am trying my level best, very best, to explain to you the secrets of the Gita. If I am not watchful, if I am not alert within me, because my force of habit, I will develop an expectation that I will be rewarded, that you will all understand and say, Swamiji, it was crystal clear. That expectation is growing in me. That is how I am habituated to do something with an expectation of profitable results. If I am not aware, if I am aware, then whether you praise me or you criticize me, it makes no difference to me. I am stable, I am poised, I am serene, and thereby I am allowing myself to dive deep within me and find out who am I. Manifesting the potential divinity already within me. Sri Krishna doesn't introduce the Atma-jnanam, Atma-vidya, the knowledge of the soul. He talks how to live in this world. And the process of living is to stabilize you, to take away your restlessness, to take away your weakness to be victim of your expectation, whether they're fulfilled or they're not fulfilled. And you swing like a pendulum between sadness and pleasure, between misery and joy. That is what human life is. That concept is karma yoga, which Sri Krishna will develop in 3rd chapter. There are 2 words, dear. As you are old students of Gita, let me take that liberty with you. One is karma bhoga. The other is karma yoga. Bhoga is to suffer, and yoga is to be in communion with. If I am not alert and awake, and if I cannot educate myself not to get involved with expectation, I am a victim of karma bhoga. I will be swinging like a pendulum between pleasure and pain. There's no excuse. Sri Krishna teaches you how to be a karma yogi. Yoga karmashu kaushalam samattam yogam uchyate. Sukha dukhe same kritva labha labho jaya jayo. That is, sukha and dukkha, labha and alabha, and jaya and ajaya, parajaya. Take it equanimously. Don't get involved. That is how that samatha, that equilibrium in you will develop. Now, in the 2nd chapter, dear, he introduces the concept of karma yoga. he introduces how to perform Tantra Yoga in a summary. And then when you have excelled in Karma Yoga, when Karma Yoga becomes a part and parcel of your personality, that is nothing in this world can disturb you. You are absolutely poised. You are fit for Atma Jnana. So, Sri Krishna tells Arjuna later on that asochan asocastam pragyabadangsha bhashasi gatashu nagatashunsya danusochanti pandita. A person who is knower of the self, he is not at all bothered. And you think yourself a great knower, and you are doing what a person of wisdom should not do. You are lamenting on things that are not worthy of lamented upon. You are regretting about affairs that are not worthy of being regretted upon. And you think you are talking tall, you are a wise man. That is how Sri Krishna prepares Arjuna for the concept of Karma Yoga. And at the end of the second chapter, when he has developed the concept of Karma Yoga, he says that concept of Karma Yoga will automatically lead you to the concept of Brahmi Sthiti, that is, you are poised, unshakably ensconced in the awareness of your true original nature, that is, I am Atma, Brahma. This Atman of mine, who I call the Self, void of all its attachments, devoid of all its attachments, is the pure Spirit, the Holy Ghost, the Atman, the Brahma. And how to achieve that position is the end known as the Sthita Prajna's Lakshana. So, dears, we have studied all that. Now, we are now to study the third chapter. Arjuna is a novice like you and me. The whole gamut of wisdom of the second chapter is so far and wide and so deep that Arjuna is unable to understand. As you and me and others, we are unable to understand the depth of the teachings of the second chapter because it is very diverse. Sometimes Sri Krishna is urging him to fight. Sometimes he urging him to study Karma Yoga and become a Karma Yogi. And sometimes he asks him to be a sannyasi and become a Atma Jigyashu, the knower and the seeker of the self. He's a bit confused. As we are confused with the various approaches of the second chapter. So the third chapter starts. Tritiya Adhyaya. Arjuna Uvacha. Arjuna speaks out. Jayasi chet karmanaste mata buddhir janardana tat kim karmani ghore mang niyojayasi Keshava. Hey Keshava, my dearest of the dear friend, Sri Krishna, you proclaim yourself to be my friend, my philosopher, my guide. If that is real, if you are not deceitful to me, and you have explained to me at the end of the second chapter that to achieve Brahmi Sthiti is the ultimate goal of life. What is Brahmi Sthiti? To identify myself with the divine. If that is the goal, then what is this concept of karma yoga? And you are pushing back to my detestation, my dislike of killing my near and dear ones. What type of a friend are you to me? He goes to that extent. Let me read word to word and explain to you. Jayasi, better. Jayasi means better. Chet, if. Karmanaste, mata buddhir janar. Te mata, your opinion. Buddhi, hey Janardana, another name of Krishna. If your opinion is that Atma Jnana is better than Karma Yoga, because Karma Yoga leads to Atma Jnana, so it is better. So if Atma Jnana is better than Karma Yoga, if that is your true opinion, what type of a frame of you? Tat kim karmani ghore mam nyojayashi. Why are you driving me? Nyojayashi. You are forcing me. You are driving me. To what? Karmani ghore. That horrible action of killing my dear and dear ones. What type of a friend are you to me? Jayashi chet karmanasti mata. If that is your opinion, that karma is ghora karma, horrible karma, and Atma Jnana Brahma Sthiti is better than karma, then what type of a good friend you are that you are deceiving me and sending to this horrible activity of warfare? This is how Arjuna takes liberty with his teacher and questions his integrity because he has not understood properly what Krishna has to say. But at the same time, Arjuna is wise enough. He is intelligent enough. So what does he say in the second shloka? Vyamishrena vabakyena. Your ambiguous statements, this and that. Vyamishrena, mixed up, ambiguous. Vakyena, your statements. That is, you have to fight. You must know the art of fighting as a karma yogi, not as a karma bhogi, and then you graduate to Atma Jnana. You have said all these things in a sweep. And I am confused because I find ambiguity in your statement. You tell me precisely what I have to do. That's the end of it. Don't leave it to me. That is, Vyamishrena vakyena buddhi moha shivame. My intellect, my faculty of understanding is under clouds. Moha is totally confounded, confused by your ambiguous talking. You have to fight. You have to fight in this manner as a karma yogi, and then you'll have to be an Atma Jnani, and then you receive Brahma Sthiti. All these ideas together, and each one you speak with conviction, that creates a tremendous problem of ambiguous speaking by you for me. Please come clean. Jena Shreya Apnuvan. Tat ekam bada nishchitya. Now, dear, help me out. Ekam bada. Pick up one. and tell me with fullest conviction by means of which Shreya aham apnuyam, I can reach that goal. Shreya is that ultimate goal, the ultimate good. With these two shlokas, Arjuna expresses his view on our behalf. We are also confused what to do, what not to do. Arjuna is our mouthpiece. He is our representative, and he speaks to his friend, philosopher and guide, Keshava Janardana, that please kindly come clean and tell me without any ambiguity one aspect which I have to perform in my life so that I reach the ultimate goal. This is how the third chapter starts. Sri Krishna Uvacha, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. See how clear it is. Loke osmin dvividha nishtha pura prokta maya anagha. Hey anagha nishpapa. Anagha means you are taintless, you are sinless, you are pure at heart. Because of your purity of heart, you want to reach the goal. But in the process, you have confused yourself what to do and what not to do. By me, Maya, Pura Prokta, previously in the first chapter and the second chapter, He Anaga, ye pure soul, Loke Asmin Dvividanishta. There are two paths for this people of this world. Jnana Yogena Sankhyanam, Karma Yogena Yoginam. There are two paths. Jnana Yoga is for Jnana Yogi, the sannyasi, the Sankhya Purusha, Sankhya, the analytical people. That is, for them is the Jnana Yoga. Karma Yogena Yoginam. Or yogi, karma yogi, they have to perform karma yoga. I've told you before, why are you confused? Why are you putting everything together and creating a porridge, as it were? Ek khichdi kyun paka rahe ho? Why are you creating that? Listen to me carefully. I have told you two distinct paths. Sankhya Yoga is for the sannyasi, jnana yogi. Karma Yoga is for Karmi and Karma Yogi. That are the two different paths which I have described in a nutshell before. And now, in the second chapter, fourth shloka, he will say, what has he to do? Na karmana manarambhat naishkarmam purushoshnute nacha sannyasanativa siddhim sapadigacchati. Without performing the duties of your life as a karma yogi, you will not have that clarity of vision and that strength of character and personality by which you walk the path of a jnana yogi. This is a necessary preconditional preparation, karma yoga. Well, dears, the third and the fourth shloka, we will discuss it in our next chapter, next discussion. I hope, dears, you have now understand what is the connection between the first and the second and the third, and this connection between third and the fourth and the fifth and this connectivity between chapter and chapter till the concluding chapter of the 18th will continue, and 1,000 and different methods to achieve that goal. Jena Shreyam Apnuvan. That is what Arjuna asks, by means of which I can reach my goal, the ultimate good. Tell me that. And in the 18 chapters, in 1,000 different perspectives, he will teach you how to arrive at that goal. Thank you, dear. Thank you. In the next session, we will start from the 3rd chapter, 3rd shloka, and go ahead. We have now completed the 1st, 2nd, and we have introduced ourselves to the 3rd. Thank you, dears. Thank you ever so much.
Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu